Hi again, everybody. Let's warm up our singing voices. We'll draw some more alphabet shapes. Last time I think we did A, B, C, D. What's next? E, F, G. Let's try that. Okay, open up my drawing. Here we go. E. Can you make the shapes, your voice make the sound of the shape of an E with me? Ready? E. Let's do the top first. E. Middle one's a little bit shorter. E. E. What was the next one? E, F. Oh, there's F. Oop. Boo. Boo. Uh-oh, my G's gonna have to be kind of small now. Ready for G? Whoop. E, F, G. Trace the shapes with me one more time. Let's change colors. We'll put yellow over the top. Whoop. Let's change colors. We'll go yellow. I want a yellow shot. We'll make a yellow highlight. Boo. Whoop. Boo. Whoop. Whoop. Boop. 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 Did you trace with your fingers? And I didn't do them the same order every way. It really does matter sometimes when you trace those letters that you do them the same way each time. I probably have some different ways that I could do it better. Ask your parents and your teachers, what's the way they draw their letters? Do they start with the top part? Let's hear you make your own sounds. I'll draw it with my finger and my mouse on the screen, and you try and make my sounds. Ready? I want to hear you. Go. Try the middle one. Good. Ready? My finger might be going the different direction than my mouse because sometimes the sides get mixed up. Thanks for singing with me. Now your voice is all warmed up. Let's sing. Ooh, Charlie Over the Ocean. I'll get my guitar. Oops. Oh, ouch. Sorry. A new song that we learned last time. Charlie Over the Ocean. Oh, I think I played it in G. Yeah. That tune. If you sung it a few times last time with me, maybe you remember how it goes. But if not, I can help you again. It sounds like this. It's an echo song. I sing, then you sing. Charlie over the ocean, Charlie over the ocean, Charlie over the sea, Charlie over the sea. Charlie got a big fish, Charlie got a big fish. Can't catch me, can't catch me. Yep. And there's a game that goes with it. I'll show you how it works in a second, but sing it with me a couple more times. I'm going to use my high voice. Like when I was a student and I was a lot shorter and not as big as I am today, my voice sounded like this. Charlie over the ocean. So I'll sing it like that. I'm not trying to be silly, but sometimes it's easier if you guys sing with that high voice. I bet you can find the notes now if you try. I sing, you sing. Charlie over the ocean, Charlie over the ocean, Charlie over the sea, Charlie over the sea. Charlie got a big fish, Charlie got a big fish. Can't catch me, can't catch me. It's hard for me to sing up there all the time, so I'll go back down to my regular voice. You keep up in that high range. That's where our singing voices are. One more time. I sing, you sing. Charlie over the ocean, Charlie over the ocean, Charlie over the sea, Charlie over the sea. Charlie got a big fish, Charlie got a big fish. Can't catch me, can't catch me. So there's lots of ways to make this game and song more fun and change it up. You could say, Charlie got a whale. Hopefully he didn't catch a whale. We don't usually go after whales. Some people do, but there's not very many of them around, so most of us like to keep them as many as we can. But you might say he caught so big of a fish that it was almost a whale. What if he caught what if he caught a jellyfish? Charlie got a jellyfish. So when you're in the car, you can sing this song with your family and make up different words. What if he caught a clam? Clams are fun to find too. Charlie got a clam. So you can always add that, but there's also a game. So I'll show you how the game works with some of my Lego friends. So, if you want to play Charlie Over the Ocean, get your friends to stand in a circle. You have to have like 3 or 4 people to make it work, but the more the better. The bigger the circle, the more running you get to do. So, the way that I learned the game was whoever's it, I'm going to make this person it. His name is Luke. Charlie, he gets to sing the leader part, and everybody else has to echo. All these people sing back to him on the echo. Charlie over the ocean, Charlie over the ocean, Charlie over the sea, Charlie over the sea. Charlie got a big fish, Charlie got a big fish, can't catch me, can't catch me. Right at the end of the song, whoever's it has to decide who they want to tag. Just like when you say tag, when you play tag, and whoever's it has to tag the other person, they touch this person on the back, and oh, don't knock them over now. If that's the person they want, once they touch them, then that person has to try and catch them. So Luke says, touch. Oh, they just keep falling over. Touches him, and he says, can't catch me. And he runs around the circle, can't catch me. And he tries to catch him, and he tries to catch him. Keep going, faster, Luke, faster. Oh, he's almost going to get you. And Luke makes it all the way back to his spot before he gets tagged. If he makes it back before he gets tagged, now it's his turn to be leader. Charlie over the ocean, Charlie over the ocean. Oops, Charlie over the sea, Charlie over the sea. Charlie got a big fish, Charlie got a big fish. Can't catch me, can't catch me. So he stops and he decides, I'm going to tag you. And this time he runs after him, and he slips and he falls, and he almost catches him, and then he doesn't. He gets up, it's really close, and and he tagged him. He touched him. So now, if he tags him, he gets to decide whether he has to go again or he gets to be the new leader. And usually, this person likes to be the new leader, so he gets to get back in the circle, and the Imperial officer, I think that's what he's called, maybe not, Imperial, I don't know what to call that guy. He gets to do the next one, and he starts singing Charlie over the ocean. So enjoy that with your Star Wars friends or your toys. Sing along and play the game. For a simple song today, we get to sing a new one called Iken Drum. And I think this song comes from Ireland, and it sounds like this. Well, I need to tell you one thing first. We get to choose a food. It's usually best to think about foods with this song. You get to choose your own food for each part of the song. You'll see. And I went to a random website that chose random foods for me, because you know what? I always have students tell me the name of a food to start with, because we have to come up with a new one every time. So since I don't have you to tell me what random food, I found a random chooser, and it said pie. So I'm going to start with pie. The song sounds like this. There was a man lived in the moon, in the moon, in the moon. There was a man lived in the moon, and his name was Iken Drum, and his head was made of a pie, 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 and his head was made of a pie, and his name was Iken Drum. Oh, I'm holding the camera and trying to draw at the same time. That's hard. So there's my pie. Usually you could put a little triangle on the side. That kind of makes it look like a pie. And then that little ruffled edge that you usually see on a pie, I'll make a squiggly line for that. There we go. Oops. That's okay. These are always fun to make. So that's what his head was made out of. And then we'll usually, let's see, we pick another body part. We could say, and his body was made of, and the next one on my list, cheese. There was a man lived in the moon, in the moon, in the moon. There was a man lived in the moon, and his name was Iken Drum, and his body was made of cheese, 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 and his body was made of cheese, and his name was Iken Drum. So draw a nice big hunk of cheese here. I think it's Swiss cheese. It has some holes in it. Does that look like cheese? Oops, I lost it again. Sorry, guys. There we go. I need a camera person. Sometimes I have one of my kids do it. Let's see, the next body part. Sometimes we do arms next. I'll skip to the part where we sing about his arms, and my list says a food. Oh, this can look funny. And his arms were made of rice. Rice is really small, isn't it? I'll draw some rice. And his arms were made of rice, rice, rice. And his arms were made of rice, and his name was Iken Drum. Let's see. Oh, the next one was raspberry. And you know what? I want to make that his eyes. And his eyes were made of raspberry, raspberry, raspberry. And his eyes were made of raspberries, and his name was Iken Drum. Raspberries are hard to draw. They're but they're wobbly, and then they have kind of a pattern across them. That doesn't really look like a raspberry. But you know it. Okay. And the next one on my list. Oh, this is a fun word to say too. And around the wintertime, we usually get to have lots of these yummy ones that are called clementines. They're like tiny oranges. Do you like clementines? I like clementines. I'm going to make that his mouth. And his mouth was made of clementines, clementines, clementines. And his mouth was made of clementines. And his name was Aiken Drum. Looks pretty funny, huh? And let's see. Ooh, hot cocoa was my next one. I think that's his hat. And his hat was made of hot cocoa, hot cocoa, hot cocoa. And his hat was made of hot cocoa, and his name was Aiken Drum. Ooh, yum, I want some hot cocoa. Can you sing that one with me? And his hat was made of hot cocoa, hot cocoa, hot cocoa. And his hat was made of hot cocoa, and his name was Aiken Drum. The next one on my list is potato. What should I put? Potato. His legs. I think his legs should be potatoes. And his legs were made of potatoes, potatoes, potatoes. And his legs were made of potatoes. And his name was Aiken Drum. That kind of looks like potatoes. They kind of look like rocks too. Oh well. Let's see. Almost done. We can keep going. You can do his eyelashes, you can do his ears, you can do his neck and fingers, and you can go for days and days. So hey, the next time you have some free time, sit down and draw your own Aiken Drum. I'll think of the last one and draw it for you before I say it. On my list here. Yep, that'll be interesting. Okay. Oops, sorry. And there was a man lived in the moon, in the moon, in the moon. There was a man lived in the moon, and his name was Aiken Drum. And his ears were made of hot... Oh, I said the wrong one. Darn it. What was I going to say? Oh, and his ears were made of eggs, 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 and his ears were made of eggs, and his name was Aiken Drum. There was a man lived in the moon, in the moon, in the moon. There was a man lived in the moon, and his name was Aiken Drum. Draw your own Aiken Drum and say what it is. What's your favorite foods to make up a silly looking face like this? We should put a smile on his face. I think he needs a licorice smile. And his smile was made of licorice, licorice, licorice. And his smile was made of licorice, and his name was Aiken Drum. Oh, I like that a lot better, don't you? I think his nose was a clementine then. Or clementine was the nose, and his licorice smile. Thanks for singing that with me. Teach someone else how to do the Aiken Drum song. It's so much fun. So for our made-up song today, where we make up a brand new song and we explore our voice and the way we talk and sing, last time we did good morning sounds, let's try good evening sounds. When you say hello to somebody at night, sometimes you say good evening, because it's nighttime out right now, I think. It feels like it's nighttime all the time, right? In the wintertime, it's dark for a long time. So let's say it like we're really tired. Can you say it like this? Good evening. Try it. Good evening. And maybe we could say, when we're saying it quietly, good evening. Good evening. Do you echo me? Let me hear your voice say it like this. Good evening. Good evening. What if you said it down really low, like you were just kind of tired and grumpy? Good evening. Good evening. What if you said it like this? What if you said it a whole bunch of times in a row? Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. That's a tongue twister. Did you say it? That's a hard one. What if you said, like a robot? Good evening. Try it. Good evening. That would be kind of funny, huh? What if you said it like super slow-mo and roller coaster? Slow motion roller coaster. Good evening. Did you try it with me? Try a little bit. That's fun. I hope you enjoy making those sounds with your voice. It's a great way to learn how to make those singing sounds in the beginning. And all those things that sound so silly, it's actually really, really important music work. You're learning music. even now, even though you're kind of already a pro. Most kids are really good at singing and music. I bet you enjoy it. One last one after me. Good evening. Good evening. So your voice always goes high and low, even when you're talking. Oh, I just did it right there. And again. So our next song was about our turtle friend. This is a steady beat song, so if you don't feel like singing, you can keep the beat with me, right? I shake my hand and I make my little turtle shapes. Can you do that? You got your 2 thumbs up, and we make this little turtle. Are you ready? I'll say it and see if you can remember how it goes. There was a little turtle who lived in a box. He swam in the water and he climbed up the rocks. He snapped at the mosquito, he snapped at the flea, he snapped at the minnow, and he snapped at me. He caught that mosquito, he caught that flea, he caught that minnow, but he didn't catch me. Those words that we say are different kind of things that a turtle might eat. He might eat a mosquito, a flea, and then a minnow. A minnow is a little tiny fish. Okay, sometimes some turtles eat fish, I think. That's what the rhyme says. We'll have to find out. And then he snaps at you too. So some turtles are snapping turtles, right? We don't have them where we live in Washington, not that I know of. But there are some turtles that are snappers. Usually when you leave them alone, I think they're not very mean, but you do have to be careful sometimes. So, are you ready? Keep the beat. Can you show me the beat? You might pat your legs. You might nod your head. You might pat your chest. You might pound the table. Don't hurt anything. There was a little turtle who lived in a box. He swam in the water and he climbed up the rocks. He snapped at the mosquito, he snapped at the flea, he snapped at the minnow, and he snapped at me. He caught that minnow, he caught that flea, he caught that minnow, but he didn't catch me. I just messed up the words again. I always mix it up. I used to sing it differently when I was teaching with my elementary school kids in Anacortes. Now I teach orchestra, and I get to teach you guys this year. So I keep messing it up. I think you could make it any order you want. You could say he snapped at a earthworm. He snapped at a leaf, because they eat leaves too, right? And he snapped at a... what else could he snap at? You could come up with your own version, because you know what? These songs are songs that kids and teachers made and moms and dads made, and you can change it. I just changed it. Okay. Oh, crabfish time. You ready for the crabfish story? We'll end with our story song, singing about that crabfish. Let me get my words ready because I don't want to mess up the story for you. Okay, I'll make it a little bit bigger there. Okay, now I can see it. Well, there was a little man, and he had a little wife, and he loved her as much as he loved his life. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Well, 1 hour in the night, his wife grew sick, and all she wanted was a little crabfish. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. So up he arose, and he put on his clothes, and down to the seaside he followed his nose. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. You can sing that part yet. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Okay? So, oh fisherman, can you tell me, do you have any crabfish you could sell to me? Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Oh yes sir, I have 1, 2, and 3, and the best of them I will sell to thee. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. So he caught 'em and he bought 'em, and he put 'em in a dish, and he said, "Oh wife, put your nose to this. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day." So his wife, just to smell them, popped up from her bedclothes, and the crabfish popped up and grabbed her by the nose. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. "Oh husband, come hither, do you hear?" But the crabfish had already grabbed him by the ear. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. And so, my friends, if for crabfish you thirst, please try to remember to cook him first. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Mash-a-row-dow-dow-dow, diddle all the day. Thanks for singing with me. Did you get those mash-a-row-dow-dow-dows? See if you can remember how to sing that, even if you make up your own words. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Or ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. They're just made-up words. The important thing is you're trying to sing. I think I heard some of you guys even through the magic of the recording. I wish I could. Thanks so much for singing with me. Try and teach somebody else our songs. See you next week.